Welcome to the Talkin Balls NFL Show with your hosts, the main man, Neil Adams, the Temu Jason Kelsey, Mark McFadgen, and of course, the talent, Rob Newman. Grab some beers and get ready to talk some balls.
Hello and welcome to Talkin Balls. I'm your host, Neil Adams, and joined as always is my lovely bearded co-host, Rob Newman. How are you, Rob?
I'm great, mate. I'm great. How are you?
I am fantastic. And today we're thrilled to kick things off, no pun intended, with a true Kansas City icon, a left-footed maestro who spent 15 unforgettable seasons pinning opponents deep in their own territory, racking up over 50,000 punting yards, landing 483 boots inside the 20-yard line. That's third all-time in NFL history, and holding the franchise record for most games played at 238. Drafted by the Chiefs in the third round out of Tennessee in 2005. He was a two-time Pro Bowler, a Super Bowl champion, and now host of the podcast Hang Time. Of course, it's Dustin Colquitt. How are you, sir?
What's up, gentlemen? How are we doing today?
Fantastic. How was that intro? Was that all right?
It was perfect. I was like, man, it couldn't be any better.
Days. That's the first time I've ever done one of those. So, I'm glad it didn't go absolutely terrible.
I'm curious. Did you learn anything about yourself there, Dustin? It was quite lengthy. It
was perfect. I just every time I'm on the road and I open up for people, I just need you to do the intro.
No bother. I'm there for you. No bother.
That'd be perfect.
He'll get it done. We'll get him practicing it.
I think you had it locked in.
Yeah, fair.
So, how's it going with you anyway, Dustin? How's the podcast going?
It's going good. Yeah, I did it for the last 2 years for the Chiefs. My goal with Hang Time is kind of in the suggestive word of Hang Time is just hanging out with me, and we tell old stories. Whether it's a GM or a coach or the owner. I did Clark Hunt last year, got a pleasure of doing that. And I spent a lot of time with him in the building. And so I built my podcast just telling guys stories and then talking about the current guys that usually it's if they've played that position, we'll talk about, Tony Gonzalez, we'll talk about Travis Kelce and so forth. So it's been fun kind of reliving old memories, just playing, but also just keeping up with guys that you spend a lot of time with from, 22 years old to almost 38. So, yeah, it's good. And I thought this was, and I always, when you're a punter, you're normally almost always the holder too. And I always took pride in holding guys' balls. The footballs.
Yeah, of course. Laces out, always laces out.
And how are you finding the transition from holding guys' balls to talking balls?
Well, then it's talking ball, and then now I'm teaching a lot of Australians how to hold other guys' balls, which is pretty normal for them. Apparently. No, it's good. We actually got a really good punter at Tennessee, Jackson Ross. He's definitely going to get his shot in his time. Once his eligibility is up here, the thing about Jackson is he can roll right, he can roll left. And that confuses punt return teams because you don't know where the block spot's going to be, and you don't know which foot it's going to come off of. So it's very, very interesting weapon. I always we don't have punters, as Tig would tell you, is we try to weaponize the punter if we can do that, because it's like battle of field position. But going back to the original things, I've had a lot of fun, and I was doing my homework before I jumped on here, and with me coming to Ireland here really soon, I got to get on that time zone quick.
Yes, you do. All right. Yeah. You have to get on the Guinness as well.
Is there any so I learned the basics, like the 101 Guinness basics from Paul Rudd himself, Ant-Man, as you guys may know him there. And his dad was actually a Titanic enthusiast among a million other unbelievable things in history. But he actually built a pub in his basement called O'Sullivan's. And there's many a nights when he would come home late in the seasons watching the Chiefs, particularly around Christmas and New Year's, where we would sit in his basement. He had a keg fully set up like a bar would be O'Sullivan's in Overland Park, Kansas.
So you're besties with Paul Rudd?
Besties. I have, so here, this is actually a crazy story. In my basement here, and I might have to run down and get it out of the case. One year he would come to my Christmas party. I had a tacky Christmas sweater party that Pat and Travis, anybody that was playing at the time, would come to. And so usually it was a lot of my neighbors. And I told them, I said, hey, look, this is Overland Park, Kansas. It's the Kansas City Chiefs backyard. And there's going to be some of my neighbors here, but nobody, the thing about Kansas City is nobody ever bothers these guys. Like, not in the grocery store, not when they go out to eat. And I'm sure they rarely pay for meals too. I mean, that was a little bit my experience there. And so I'd have this party every year and everybody'd wear like these crazy Christmas sweaters and stuff like that. And so he would show up, and usually he was rolling up with like 2 twin tower Don Julio 1942 and, saying hi to people and stuff like that. They would come because the football guys were there. The football guys would come because he knew Paul and Stone Street and David Keckner, and, guys like that would come, all the actors that do Big Slick and, I mean, movies everywhere. And so one year he called me and said, hey, have you ever heard of, he said, like, I can't remember the actor's name. He had like a little spot on Netflix, and it's like, you ever heard of such, and I had memorabilia all over my basement, like mostly jerseys and stuff like that. And then I started getting into like movie stuff. And so he's like, hey, I got this guy, and he's really funny. Like, he might be the funniest guy in any room you ever stand in. And I got you an 8x10. I'm going to bring it to the Christmas party, 8x10 of this guy, and you can put it up. And I had to like Google the guy, and I was like, I don't even know what I've seen this guy in before.
Who is this guy?
Yeah. And I was like, but sweet, this is a present from Paul Rudd. I'm going to cherish it. And so, he shows up at the party, comes in, but he's got like a circular satchel on. And so I'm like, is that like a new thing that the actors are doing, like this circular satchel? And it was like huge. And I knew he'd come in from New York, and he does a lot of, I mean, he's been in Australia for the better part of 2 years filming stuff, and he's in London constantly. So I was like, I didn't want to question him. I thought that was just kind of TSA, bag of sorts that he's like, I don't want to get stopped too much, so here's my thing. He flies American Airlines, Delta, and all that stuff. He does not do PJs. So anyway, he walks into my basement, and I'm getting a little more curious, and he's like, oh, I've got your picture. So he goes down and like unzips this little circular satchel and pulls out a Captain America shield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, shit. And I was like, awesome. And he was like, out of all of my friends, and I was like, whoa, no. How did you come across? Did you like steal that? And he goes, no, look, it's signed by every Avenger. And I was like, no, I can see that. But like, and I'm sweating at this point, big Avengers fan. And he's like, they gave one for me to keep. They gave one for me to give to charity, for charity, and one to give to a friend. And I was like, I'm still like, I'm like, that's so cool. I'm thinking like, you got all these Chiefs players here. We got, fellow actor buddies. I'm like, that's cool. Who are you going to give it to? And you're like, you idiot. And I was like, oh, no, what? And I'm like almost passing out. And he's like, out of all of my friends, you're going to nerd out on the shield the most. So I was like, oh my gosh. So anyway, sorry for the long segue.
I love that. See, I have a bar in my garage as well, and it's just filled with Marvel, DC, NFL stuff. And I would just love that. Yeah. That would be amazing. Like, if somebody came up and gave me that there, I would love that.
Oh, I freaked out. I mean, I remember the first thing that he brought. He would bring stuff home from like movies and stuff. And the first Ant-Man, he signed. I have 5 kids, and my 2 older boys my 2 younger kids, Cannon and KJ, were like huge into Ant-Man, and they knew Paul, so they were like, Uncle Paul's in this, this new Ant-Man thing. So he brought him back and unrolls this poster, and it said, "To my friends Cannon and KJ, stay small."
Oh,
And so they're like, yeah. Anyway, greatest guy ever, but he kind of got me started on this Guinness stuff. So I'm ready to rock and roll. Everybody thinks I'm just going to go work for the NFL. I'm ready to get on some Guinness at some pubs.
Yes, that's what I love to hear.
absolutely. And we'll be there with you.
On a Guinness. Have you been practicing splitting the G?
I've been doing everything. I've been trying to the first time. So I call Paul's mom Mama G. She's like my Kansas City mom. Like we were super, like he would fly around and come in and do all that stuff. But like when I first like drank, I just thought you just drink beer, right? You just drink the beer. Man, not in that house. They do everything how you're supposed to. So it took me a time or two. But she was a stick, like Paul just let you drink the beer, and he just wants to hang out and talk and see what you're up to. But she's like, "You're not doing that right. You're not doing that right." So I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to grow a mustache for this."
Yep.
Yeah, get the white tash. And have you ever been to Ireland before, Dustin? Or would this be your first time?
I have not, and I'm low key obsessed with castles.
We got a lot of them.
Oh, I know. And rich history, I would say. I actually love that kind of weather. Kansas City is. I love rain and stuff. I played soccer all growing up, and so those tournaments were filled with Saturdays and Sundays in rain. And so I really love that weather. I love the culture. When we went over to London the first time playing in 2015, one of the funnier things I'd ever heard, one of our guys was getting interviewed, and I haven't been anywhere, much less some of these guys that have just played football their whole lives and not in like a soccer or tennis or golf where you do have to bang around a little bit. And so during his interviews, one of the reporters was like, what's the biggest thing that you're concerned with, like crossing the big pond and being in a place one you're not familiar with, but like, and he's like, I hope I understand what they're saying. I only know English. And I was like, oh man. So I had a wonderful time, going to London. So I'm definitely looking forward to Dublin the landscapes are drop dead gorgeous. I'm probably 45 minutes from the base of the Smoky Mountains that come down the Appy Trail. And so I can see like Mount LeConte and all these mountains and stuff. And I know it's a temperate rainforest. It rains a lot up there too. And so I'm looking forward to dipping in and just taking it all in.
Well, if you like rain, Dustin,
Ireland's the place for you.
right place. At the minute we have like wind and rain right now.
And this is our summer. So
it's been doing this for the past load of weeks.
Let's go. I mean, I got a raincoat. I mean, I've got Gore-Tex boot stuff. Like I'm coming in hot, and it's going to be fun. Even if it's going to be rainy and cold, I'm coming in hot. So what is your plan for whenever you're over here then? So besides drinking with you fellas, I know Tig's got a leader kicking academy going on that Friday. There's going to be like I think 9 to noon, like a kind of a kicking expedition, whatever they're calling it there. And we're roping that right now into a kick for tickets to the Dublin game. So and it's in the works. The NFL does a lot of programming, both wherever they're playing, first of all. But I think that between like college football and pro football playing over there, and obviously the staple that's been in London for a long time now, I know that they're wanting to set more roots. And I thought, what better to set roots in Dublin or London than to have people coming out and kicking to try to win tickets to the games. I found that it's the closest thing that they can kind of jump on to in the American football game is the kicker and punter.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are soccer players. I was a soccer player. That's what I did all the way through high school, and then played football. And so I just, when we went over there, I was shocked. Just at the point of my career, I think I'd played almost 10 years. And when you go over there, like when you're sitting on like a bus, just backpack, hanging out, headphones, doing your thing, people will literally like, "You're Dustin Colquitt for the Chiefs. This is wow. We can't wait to watch you play." And in the program, Cairo Santos, we were like in the middle of the program, the kicker punter. After the game, it was hilarious watching these defensive ends and receivers and quarterbacks that get a lot of attention over here. When they come over here after the game, I mean, they were all over Cairo Santos. Just like, what was it like kicking in Wembley Stadium? And obviously Cairo's from Brazil, international player. And so it was just fun watching that draw. Like field goals nobody's going to get a beer during a fourth down. They're going to watch that part. We'll go get a beer on first down.
Yeah.
100%. So what do you feel about all the Irish players that are coming over? Like the likes of the Charlie Smiths, the Dan Whelan, the Jude McAtamis.
Well, these guys are big. Like, I mean, they're all 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". They got big legs. They're all built like punters. I know that Tig's got a kicking academy, but I told him, I was like, man, we need to teach these guys how to. It's like teaching a guy. You can either give a guy a fish or teach him how to fish.
Yeah.
And I think that with these guys, like when I watch them on film, they can be successful kickers, great. But man, I see them as punters, kickoff specialists. They're just built for that. They're built like the American punter. So yeah. I'm going to teach them how to hold. I'm going to do everything I can, because like, if you are a punter and you're a good holder, you can make a lot of money, but you can do everything earlier. You can start a family earlier. You can do I want these boys to be punters. That's what I think.
I tried
go ahead.
I tried a bit of punting for my team this year, and I'm probably the only person in American Football Ireland to have negative yards. Wasn't great. There was one game we were playing, the wind was right in my face, kicked it up, maybe got it 5 yards, and I was like, that's me, I'm done with that one. No good at that, so I'll just stick to being in the trenches.
It's tough. That's part of it. It's very technical. It's very much like golf. Punting is, so is kicking. But the thing about punting is, you're getting a ball snapped to you. You're having to catch it, mold it, and then put it out into space, not let it travel, too much from hand to foot, because you have a funny shape. You have like a funny shaped foot, funny shaped ball, and funny shit can happen. And so like it's high stress. A lot of these guys have mental coaches like I did. I was like, I don't need a mental, I don't need somebody that's going to train me mentally for like this job. I'm just going to hit the ball as hard as I can and as high as I can, and it should take care of itself. But like when you get in between the white lines in an NFL stadium where, people are saying, hey, this guy's getting paid some good money, he better be good. Yeah, a lot of pressure comes with that, just like any sport, but with punting in particular, and with kicking field goals, unless it's a really long one, you have to keep one thing in mind. There is a little guy back there catching your punts that's way faster than you, and so you want to hang it. If you don't, you're going to be chasing that little fast guy that's faster than you down. And
you don't want to be doing that.
No, you got to take. That's when you got to get good at reading angles.
Yeah, because over here we've American football over here. Me and Rob played, but we're the fat people. We're the big guys. But
I was a running back for 6 years, but then I've been on
compared to you guys over here. So like I used to play center, but I'm 5'8".
Gotcha.
I went to a thing where I met Ostrich Esme, the running back. It was for the Broncos. And he's like 6'2", and he's a running back. And I'm sitting there going, if you were over here, I'm supposed to block for you.
Right.
Yeah.
If he went to any team in Ireland, they'd be like, right, you're fucking right tackle, left tackle.
Yeah.
throw you in
or
there.
just give them the ball because they would definitely win.
Well,
There
there
was a D3 player came over to play for the Belfast Trojans this year, which are the current Irish champions. And seeing the standard of him compared to us was just night and day. It was unbelievable. Compared to it, you could tell he had no place being on that field because he was too good for us. And that's just, it's just coaching, isn't it? As soon as he could walk, he was playing football. So
it's some of those
different gravy over there. You've got it bred into us from a very, very young age, whereas we just we like American football. Wonder if there's a team over here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's as far as like that body, the structure type, like you guys have your giants. So does Australia. Like they're out there, and I've seen that. I've walked up on Australians and that pack of guys that Tag was traveling with. I mean, there's 6'3" plus 230. Like, I mean, they're big guys.
They're big guys.
Yeah, and it's what's crazy about some of our guys over here is maybe it's McDonald's. Maybe I would trace that back to McDonald's maybe sometimes, because I've seen even some of these NBA players that are, 6'11", 7'1", and you see their biological parents are like 5'9" and 6'1". And
see, you don't know how that works. See, over here, we're all just short. I think it's the rain.
It might be the rain, maybe lack of sun. Lack of sun could be another thing, but we have a mix. We have tons of small people over here too, though. It's like the people that make it to the pitch that you see are just the freaks, the freak athletes, and the genetic morphs. Some of them, and then there's even like a subset of guys. Like we got guys that are big that you're like, dude, that guy's humongous. He's 6'6", 320 pounds. And then we have a guy at Tennessee right now that is 6'6". No, he's not. He's 6'8", 337 pounds.
God damn.
And he can touch the rim. Standing there, his wingspan's well over 7 feet. And so I think that I don't question God. Sometimes I'm like, God wanted him to play football. Or entertain the masses.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely need to get whatever's in the water over here.
I'm bringing you some.
Yeah, McDonald's.
I'm bringing. No, we can't bring in McDonald's. We got to figure out. We're going to tap into that really old water supply over there and see if we can get some minerals in it. How about that?
That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Well, I'm too old for it now. Like, you know what I mean? I leave it for the younger folk to turn on that. My knees don't work like they used to before, as Ed Sheeran would say.
That's funny.
So, how you feeling about your Chiefs this year?
I feel good. Obviously they didn't come up with a win week 1 in Brazil. I know that's tough. Like, I think Kansas City had a 10+ hour flight. LA had 11 or 12 hour flight. I mean, that's tough to do that like week 1 and travel that far and come up with a win. I know last year Baltimore came into Arrowhead and really played well. And if it wasn't for, Pat and some of the guys that the Chiefs have been able to acquire since 2013, and Travis and these guys, we beat them by 1, and Baltimore caught a touchdown pass and stepped out of bounds. And like all these NFL games are like so tight. I've seen people, like you talk about Tom Brady in 2015. I remember he came to Arrowhead. They lost 41-14, and the Boston Globe says that Tom Brady's done. And at the end of the year, he was hoisting up another Super Bowl trophy. You know what I'm saying?
Quick to judge, aren't they? Like it's like people are coming up going, "Oh, Chiefs are done now because they lost," and then it's like the likes of the Dolphins and all the Dolphins tour is done. That's it. Get him out of there. Same with Russell Wilson. Get him out of there. Start Jackson Dart. It's week 1.
It's too quick. I think even like if you boil this down to like companies, sometimes companies will turn over really quick and they don't let the chemistry set in. That's one thing in Kansas City they've been able to do is they've been working on this like monster juggernaut since 2013 when Andy Reid got there. And we went from, 2-14 seasons, 4-12 seasons to his first season there, I think was my eighth. Yeah. Eighth. And we won our first 9 games and they turned the roster over and good chemistry, all that. And matter of fact, I remember they told us we were done in 2015, first game I played in London in Wembley.
Right.
We were 1-5 flying across the pond. Nobody wanted to watch us play. We beat Detroit and then we won 11 straight games. So, it's one of those things that like, if I wasn't in that room, in that setting and for 15 years in Kansas City, I would be like, oh man, this is a rough start. Travis he's older. He's not going to do his thing. But the thing about Travis is, one, he's an amazing human, great dude. His work ethic is off the charts still. I spent time at practice last year during their playoff run, and he was still out at practice on a Friday. Usually on Fridays, they'll let some of their, Chris Jones, guys like that. They're like, you practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like you're good. This is a recovery day for you. Travis is still out there catching balls. And Tony Gonzalez was the same way. I learned so much from those guys. Just kind of watching their work ethic. I knew that if it crept into my mind, I'm not going to punt today, or I'm only going to hit like 5 balls today, then I just leaned on to what I saw from those guys. So they'll be fine. I mean, they've got everybody in that room to win. They got Joe Blameyer. He's their passing game coordinator in Kansas City, very good friend of mine. And man, you're talking about magic. He did all of their 2 and 4 minute situations for Andy. And I'm surprised somebody hadn't stolen him in Kansas City yet. He's like one of those just football gridiron wizards. So they'll be fine. It's just kind of I know what Andy's telling them right now, not too high, not too low, don't peak too soon. Like we're good. Like sometimes a wake up call at the beginning of the season is just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah. Well,
I would say
they've been very, very unlucky as well with Worthy getting injured and obviously
one
Rashid.
thing I would say as well, sorry to interrupt you, Neil. One guy we talk about time and time again, this is our 3rd season. Pat Mahomes, just obviously not always overly exciting, but he knows how to win games no matter what time of the season it is. He just has that it factor. So you can never ever write the Chiefs out, no matter how bad they're doing. I think it was a couple of years ago where was it our first year in 2022 or 2023. You weren't looking, or the Chiefs weren't looking that good, and next thing you know, Super Bowl, and you're like, that's Pat Mahomes. It's just that it factor. So yeah.
When we came our Super Bowl year in 2019, we were losing. We were in double-digit deficits in every game that we played through the playoffs and the Super Bowl, and came back and won. And one game was just out of hand. It was like 24-3, and we came back and won that game by double digits, probably by 20. And man, you just can't count those guys out. Pat is super, like, ultra competitive with everything. Even if he sees somebody like throwing a ball at a field goal post in practice, game on. Like, he's going to hit that. He's going to hit
first. It's okay.
Yeah. He's going to hit I listen to the podcast. I just got to be careful. I got to be careful with my kids. They're going to be like, Dad, you totally cussed during that. You owe us $5. So
my kids would be making a fortune if they did that to me.
It's like, I just got to be careful. But yeah, anything that's competitive, Pat's in. And even when I came back and retired this past summer, they'd let you come in and do whatever you did for the team. They let you do your last one. And so as the punter, they let me punt one more. You know who's the gunner who went down and covered the ball on my punt? Patrick Mahomes.
Go away. Seriously?
Yeah. I mean, he's going to do it. He wants all of it. Like he'll tell you, he's like, He'll look at injury reports for the other team and say, I want everybody to be healthy. So when we beat them, they can't say shit about it.
That's a good way to look at it, isn't it?
That's competitive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But that's just the difference between good players and elite players, isn't it? Really, like they're competitive. They're the way they want to go the extra mile for everything. Like the likes you were saying there with Travis Kelce and all. Like it's just the difference. It's just if you want to be elite, you have to put in the hours. Like I mean, I think I remember like JJ Watt and all used to stay till friggin' the sun went down. And he was training hours and all after everybody else, and he didn't. He was just football the whole season. Nobody else mattered. That was it. He ate, slept, drank, football.
Yeah,
that was it.
And when you look at those guys, these guys are so competitive. They're competitive with how much sleep and recovery they get. Like they'll come in and be like, dude, I got a solid 9.5 hours. My body's feeling great. Like,
what's that like?
I mean, yeah, right. I was like, man, I've got 5 kids. Like I was doing like dream feeds when you guys were like in REM phase of sleep. I'm tired as hell. And they're like, oh, you're the punter. You don't need to sleep.
4 o'clock watching the Vikings game and then up at 7 o'clock for work.
Ooh, I know that time change got to be rough. That's what I'm looking forward to going over there though, because we'll have the first game and then we got overtime. We got to find a place. This is a challenge to you guys. We have got to find a place to host an overtime at a pub so we can talk through some of the games going on.
No bother.
Yep, we can sort that. Don't worry.
Loads of pubs in Dublin.
Yeah.
we will sort that out and we will do that 100%. Just you let
Probably
me know.
got one or two in mind already, Nate, I think.
I have a couple in mind, yeah. They're ready to rock and roll.
Just from a solid date perspective, you guys as Irishmen had to have come up with that term pub crawl, right?
Oh, 100%, because we
absolutely.
Well, like we don't. We're see where you are with American football. We're like that with drink. We don't give up.
Absolutely not.
We get to a certain point where we're like, we're going to crawl to the next bar. If I can't walk, I'm crawling. We don't give up. We keep going. We're relentless that way.
One of my favorite, maybe not favorite, but one of the funniest things is when they made drink driving. So when you're at the bar and you're driving home from the bar, illegal over here. They had protests in the street because they were like, that's ridiculous. I want to be able to drive home after going to the bar. And when you look back at that now, you're like, my God, why was that ever a thing? So yeah, we take our drinking very seriously over here.
That in America in the, I think it was late 70s, early 80s, we had the same thing. We had people being interviewed by the news that they were like, why are you so angry? And the person would be like, because they're telling me I can't drink and jump in my car and drive my own house anymore.
Yeah.
And you're like,
the same thing.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so dangerous.
Yeah.
And then now you're thinking, then people were mad. What are they even thinking about drinking and driving? Crazy.
I know. And you think of all the public transport now too. I mean, maybe it wasn't as good back then, but come on.
Yeah. Well, now too, it's like, that's something that I remember being a big thing, like in my college days and pro day, stuff like that is, they were preaching like, don't be drinking and driving. But now you got Lyft and Uber and like all of these, public, like you go over there and we run the underground the whole time. Mind the Gap, we were in there all the time going from like borough to borough. And that's one thing that I'm sure the auto, all the auto business here in the States is definitely holding our like big train systems down. Like they don't want that to happen, which I get. And we're very spread out. So maybe it wouldn't work, but like I'm looking forward to getting over there and immersing.
So you're well connected with the Chiefs. And this is what I want to ask you to see if you have any inside knowledge here for me. Is it the owner?
Yeah. Clark Hunt
recently said that she wants the Chiefs to have a game in Dublin next year.
Yes. I've heard this. I've heard the rumblings of that. Clark Hunt would follow, Roger Goodell and the NFL's lead with wanting to be overseas. Obviously, that's a big global market, the NFL and football. And I think that, we have very good friends, very good fans, very good people in London and Brazil now. And, Dublin, I mean, you guys are getting college football, pro football now, and you guys are packing out stadiums. And I think it's good for guys to travel, see the world, appreciate, all the different countries and cultures. And I know that the Chiefs are interested in not just checking off a box and traveling somewhere, but they want fans there to appreciate, because they work hard, on their branding, and they want to make sure that they let everybody see them in person.
100%. We would love to have the Chiefs there. Like.
Oh man, can you imagine Casey Wolf in some plaid? Like, let's go, let's go.
That would be amazing.
Paint him green.
So, when you're over, are you allowed to drink the whole time you're here? Or are you actually going to be working anytime?
I'm going to be working. I'm going to see if I can pull the Irish goodbye and get to the pubs quick. But no, I am working. We're doing a lot of kind of what the States do is really work on the game week atmosphere. I think that's really important to establish the NFL and the Chiefs, everybody. I know the NFL stance is they don't want it to just be we're in on a Monday or a Thursday and out after the game. They want to give that sense of fanfare. Tailgating is what we do over here. You guys have, what do you guys call that?
Tailgating.
Tailgating.
Yeah.
You call it tailgating?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're actually so we're partnered with another company called Game Day Hospitality. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yeah.
So they do a lot of tailgating. They're going to be coming over here for the Steelers game, and with Joey Porter Sr. So we're going to be doing a wee bit of work with him the day before and the morning off.
Okay.
As well. So bit of tailgating. We've got a car park ready to go for a bit of tailgating.
Sweet.
But you see, the thing is, see the difference over here. We can't really do tailgating because all of our stadiums are in the middle of housing developments. There's no car parks.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you have to park a mile away and then walk to the stadium. So
our version of a tailgate is going to the pub before the closest pub to the stadium.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Well, it's different. It's not. I don't know if it's better. It's definitely not worse.
It's indoor.
Yeah, and it's raining.
It's because when it's raining outside, you want to go indoor and you can have your chicken wings without raindrops on them and things.
Yeah, that's true. In Kansas City, I remember one of the crazier things that I ever saw in a game is we were playing the Chargers. Phillip Rivers was the quarterback. Nick Hardwick was the center, and it's loud in Arrowhead. It's the loudest outdoor stadium in the world, 142.2 decibel. Like, it's loud, like Guinness Book of World Records loud. Wow. And I remember all they had to do was, let the clock go out. And we're talking about tailgating right now. Well, prior to the game, I think they let you in probably 4, 5, 6 hours beforehand. So you can imagine what people are doing by their cars. They're not just eating barbecue. They're doing other things. And as you're doing those other things and getting ready to go into the stadium on the grounds where you already are, you're not thinking about leaving afterwards, although there's a lot of cars that get left because people do not drink it. They will not drink and drive. They're very harsh on that here, which is great. I don't like that. So, but as this time is dwindling down and it doesn't look like we're getting the ball back, they're on a silent type count. And so he's waiting. He's looking at Phillip Rivers is looking at the clock, trying to time it up, soaking as much time out as he can to the clock. And a grill in a truck in the parking lot. People that do trucks, they have a grill that, you're supposed to get rid of all the coals, embers and stuff. Well, they forgot because they weren't just eating barbecue out there. And so they push the grill back underneath the truck and it gets hot, right? Well, when stuff with all that, the truck blows up in the parking lot. Big explosion. At the same time that they're doing the quarterback center exchange and they fumble it, we jump on it, we drive down, we score, and we win. So Phillip Rivers and Norv Turner are on the sidelines saying, what happened? And so usually it's that guy played better than me, or it was an interception, or I just fumbled it, or I didn't, but it was a grill blew up and messed up our quarterback center exchange. And Phillip Rivers is up on the – I love this guy, by the way. Actually, my son and his daughter are going to the same college up in Washington, D.C., and I got to text with him recently. But he's up on the Jumbotron like we are right now, and you can read his lips, and Phillip Rivers does not cuss. He's stone cold Catholic. And he goes, worst day ever. You could read his mouth, and the fans were going in Kansas City were going nuts because it's a division rival. That's like winning two games during the season when you win somebody in your division. So that was one of the
that planned, to be fair. Did you plan that? Just as a backup plan?
Maybe. So the punter was drinking in the parking lot and eating barbecue before the game, and he decided to lock the grill under the truck so something would happen just at the right time. He didn't have a controller in his hand warmer on the sidelines.
No. Bing.
Right now.
Oh God! So you're going over to London as well for the is it the Vikings against the Browns?
Yeah, they got 3 games over there. I think that's why we need to make this kick for tickets special. One, I think we got a lot of people that kick stuff over there.
You going to be doing that for the London games as well?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to be with Belushi's.
Yes, us too.
Over there, and yeah, we actually talked about you guys several times on our Zoom calls.
Oh, good. I hope.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, they mentioned a couple things that I have questions later about. But no, I'm kidding. But I just think that I envision this kick for tickets in the future, and when we're over there here at the end of this month and the beginning of October, as being like, I thought it would be cool. It's like a 40-minute flight, Dublin to London ish.
Yeah,
we're Belfast, so it's about 45 minutes.
Okay. I think it would be really cool to structure the kick for tickets, having some people in Ireland, you have people in London, and they go through mini competitions that lead up to the kick for tickets event. And as people, you win the first one, you win the second one, you win the third week of games. And as it goes, I think it'd be cool to have like 12 people from all different cities to come in to have the kick to win the Wembley tickets. If that's kind of what they're considering their, the last game, which is what it's historically been.
Yeah. That would be pretty cool.
I think it would be fun. It would build that game week atmosphere that the NFL is definitely wanting to build over there with its fans. And what better to do it? I mean, you could have people like throwing touchdowns. You could have people like tackling people that would get bloody and nasty. I think that the kick for tickets would just kind of unite everything going on there. And I've heard for years the NFL talking about, putting an expansion team over there, moving the Jaguars over there, or somebody. Yeah. I think that's tough to do, like logistically and just from the time zone. Yeah. Part of it. But I think that if we do this right and they see an alley for that, I don't know why we wouldn't have 6 or 7 games in London. They would feel like, we have a team. Yeah. Or double, put one in double, put 3 games in Dublin and 4 in London. Like they could figure that out.
Sounds amazing, doesn't it?
More than happy to be a part of that.
Yeah, I'm happy for that to happen. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, more games the merrier.
Well, everybody would. I think that like when you have a team, for instance, if you have one team 1 year that flies over, a team stays for 2 weeks, they fly back, and that second team that they play stays for 2 weeks. And if you keep on doing that,
they're trailing that with the Vikings now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're starting to do that now, and I think that's we're in the first leg of finding out if that makes sense logistically. I think it would.
Yeah, I think so too.
The only thing that the only thing that would be complaining is maybe Sleep Number, our official mattress of the NFL. They want guys in their beds so they get their information. So we might have to fly them over.
Well, do you not think that if the Vikings has like an upper hand because they are just over in Dublin, they have to fly 40 minutes over to the game, whereas the Browns have to travel over and get used to it, whereas the Vikings would be over here for 2 weeks and days, got their jet lag and all, whatever it is, sorted.
It would be really tough for somebody to fly over and back as opposed to just being over there. The NFL and all these teams do a great job of, whether you're staying at the Grove outside of London or like wherever, of really making that feel like home base. And we get a lot of interaction with fans and people over there. And down through the years, I still talk to people that I've met over there. And I think that's the fun part, is they become lifelong fans. You become interested in what they have going on in their lives.
Yeah.
And it is an advantage, though. Anytime you see like Oakland flies from the desert and, they'll beat somebody on the East Coast, that's a big deal. People are talking about it. If somebody flies from the East Coast to the West Coast and beats them on the West Coast, they're talking about it. I remember Sebastian Janikowski, Raider great, Shane Leckler, Raider great, fellow punter and kicker. They would come in and kick off at noon in Kansas City, and that was like kicking a ball off at 10 a.m. for them.
Right.
Their body clock, and they're just trying to get sleep out of their eye.
Yep.
Much less trying to put a proper chew in and kick some balls in pregame.
See, I seen the kicking tournament you're looking at. I seen actually looking through your Instagram that you actually did that for Super Bowl tickets, and just to see the guy's face, he was loving life. Like, he was like so happy with that. Like, you know what I mean? So if you did that over here, it would just be awesome.
He was emotional. Not everybody's been to a Super Bowl. Not everybody's been to an NFL game. And there's a lot of people that have kicked balls throughout their life over in Ireland and London. And I just think that makes the most sense, to have a competition where they can relate a little bit to the game and they can be involved in something that, they're picking up an interest in a very different sport. Like when I watch soccer overseas, like here in the States, you got people sitting, you have different colored jerseys sitting next to you. Overseas, if you did that, you'd have a riot. Like there'd be fights, and you just can't do that in Italy or anywhere. So I think that it's fun. I think that would be a really cool way to experience an NFL week, is knowing that, my name might get called on a raffle card and I get an opportunity, 50 or 100 people come in and get kicks. That's what we did. They're like, we got 10 people. Well, that might be the final. But as we're sorting it out and trying to get everybody involved, we want as many people involved in that kick for tickets as they can.
Yeah.
You kind of find out who's the stud and who has ice in their veins when you got that many kicking, and it's fun. They're in that kick that you're talking about for the playoffs and Super Bowl tickets. We had a guy actually hit, I think they were hitting like 30, 40-yard field goals. We go overseas, there's going to be people that are hitting 50-yard field goals. Like there's no doubt.
Or negative
negative.
Only on the punt, I can do field goals.
Maybe we could do highest hang time punt too.
I reckon you'd win that one.
I'm saying like for the fans.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be a unique opportunity to create game week buzz over there, is knowing that there are fans that can get an opportunity to win free tickets. I think that, we base it off of a charity. I know that I think Meningitis Now is who Belushi's has done a lot of work with, and the NFL has a very tender heart towards charity and people that they want to give back to, and they're definitely looking into doing that in a local area in Dublin and London and Brazil, wherever they play.
Fantastic. So you got the kick with wee Jim Flanagan as well?
Yeah, he did it in socks, man. I was impressed. Like he came out and booted that thing, and then I was like, man, yeah. I mean, I've seen him do that before, but it was the first time I got to meet him, and so I was like, man, we're on a game week. I don't know if we can let you out there on the field. And he goes, I do it in my socks, man. I'm like, all right, go, let's go, let's go. So I was like, the funny thing is Neyland Stadium was all roped off, and that's 102,000 people. Like it's a big, massive stadium. It's got like a crown on it and stuff. And so it's hard to kick in there. he did it well though, man. I mean, I was like, dude, sign you up. I'll hold your balls any day.
See, how did you get on the field? Is it because of Dustin Colquitt's there? Well,
yeah. I took a little bit of time out of my office work and gave him a tour of just all of our grounds, like our sports facility, the weight room. The SEC, as you know, is like the biggest college conference, and obviously a breeding ground for guys that are going into NFL. It's the most competitive football conference by far. And so I just wanted them to show kind of what it was like. And, obviously we got a guy that nobody's ever heard of that played for Tennessee named Peyton Manning. And, yeah, right. And he has dedicated his life, I mean, obviously to like football and fandom, and he could keep all of his stuff that he has collected, in his career at his house, in a basement, or in wherever. And he has chosen the University of Tennessee, where he went to school and played. And he's got a Peyton Manning room that they use for little banquets or press conferences or podcasts, and he's got all of his stuff. He's got Super Bowl worn cleats with confetti still on them. He's got his Pro Bowl jerseys in there. He's got memorabilia from 97 to when he hung it up after the 2015 season. And just a remarkable human being. You'll never see him trying to, a dead fish doctor handshake. I mean, he's like looking at you in the eye, shaking your hand. Where are you from? How long have you been a football fan, or whatever? He still even teaches a class at the University of Tennessee once a month.
What?
Yeah, he goes back and talks. And I was like, I'm going to shave my mustache and go and act like I'm a student. I just want to hear him talk again. But great human. And so it was fun showing Jim, Tig, like all the boys, kind of what Tennessee football is about. And they had a 2,000-mile journey that they were making from Orlando, carving up through these colleges, stopped in Kentucky and Morgantown, and like went up to Pittsburgh. And I mean, that was cool that they got me a big bottle of Jameson. So
nice.
I think we're friends now.
You have to be friends with people like that. People that give you things like that there, you have to be friends with them, don't you? You can't just say no.
I would have anyway. He just surprised me as I drove him on a golf cart all around campus, and then he goes, "Wait." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "I brought this for you, and it's the good stuff." And I was like, let's go.
Here, no Tag's doing amazing work at the minute, like, isn't he? He's just over everywhere, and he like getting the likes of Charlie Smith and all them boys and all over there is just fantastic work. Like,
yeah, I want to help him. I think that could be a little bit of a life mission. I consult a lot of players, whether that be in NFL or college, and I do see a skill set by these Irish kickers that could go a long way. Obviously, we're already seeing them emerging in the NFL, and obviously in colleges. But really, like, the punting is so technical, and if you just really, you need to like watch film. You got to learn to hold. There's certain rules on, when you let it go and as it hits your foot. There's some rules in there that I think that if they could mentally digest and see, that it would solve a lot of any kind of troubleshooting that they'd be doing. I'm saying that because I played soccer my whole life, and then my senior year of high school, our kicker planted on a kickoff, tore his ankle up, and I was playing soccer, and the football coach came in our math class in high school and was like, "Hey, we need somebody to come out and kick for us. Blake Henry's hurt, and we need somebody that'll come out and kick and kick off." And I'm sitting there just like doing notes, and he's like, "Colquitt, I'm talking to you." And I was like, "Oh, I don't play football." And he goes, "You are today. Like right after school, we're going to meet you down there and get you outfitted, and we're going to have you kick some field goals and see if you can like get us through until this guy gets back." And so I was like, I'd never intended to. I wanted to go to Brown in Providence, Rhode Island, and play soccer, and that was kind of my life there. As my first love, other than Jesus, but that was my first love, is soccer. And so I only saw myself. I wanted to be in the English Premier League or somewhere overseas, playing. And that changed my life. Just going out there and punting a football. And actually, when I got out there, Roy Nico, our all-state linebacker with a cowboy collar, did exactly what you were talking about. He was punting with his toe up and was hitting balls behind him and sideways. And I was like, my dad was a punter. I can try to kick, but like really my dad was a punter for the Steelers. So I think this is where you probably need me. And Coach Young's like, you're doing all three. Like you're here, like, and you're not going anywhere. And I was like, okay, cool. So that's kind of how my door got open to football is my senior year. 2 weeks before my first game and only game in my life is they plugged me in and were like, you're the guy. And so it's just kind of an amazing change of events for me.
I grew up playing soccer or football as well. I can kick a football as far as anyone. I was a kicker from a rugby team, and I can kick a rugby ball far, but American football is just different. It's much harder to connect with properly. And yeah, I just clearly can't do it. Maybe with a bit of practice, I'll get better, but definitely struggled.
I think my knee would fall off now if I try to kick a ball.
Yeah, I think that I'm coming over and I'm pretty cheap. So I can teach you. I can teach you how to do it. It's not, if you know the right rules and parameters, you can do it.
So just a case of Guinness and you'll teach us?
That's the first step.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We can handle that.
I would sound super Southern right now if I said, it's how my dad taught me. He made me drink some beer and we went out and started kicking over an oak tree.
Oh God! Wait, well, we've got you for a very long time there, so but I just want to finish off with a wee game that we play over here. So we do, and it's called Good Calls and Talkin Balls.
It's Good Calls or Talkin Balls.
So Dustin, this is basically we give you a load of hot takes, and you tell us if it's a good call or we're talking balls. And it's Chiefs edition because Chiefs.
All right.
So,
I like it.
The first one, Rob, go ahead. This is your one.
Right, okay. You put me on the spot here. I didn't even write it down. But basically, we've had a wee talk today, and we think that before the end of the season, Tyreek Hill will be back at the Chiefs. Do you think that's a good call?
Talkin Balls.
Oh, that was quick. Okay.
Wait, were you finished?
No. I was going to ask you, and I was going to sort of explain it a bit. Obviously, Xavier Worthy being injured, Reese been out for 6 weeks. Maybe, obviously, Dolphins are struggling a wee bit. Maybe get released.
Maybe you know more than what we know. Maybe he's burned his bridges there or something, has he?
No, so I don't think that. And what I'll say is that Andy Reid is a benevolent dictator, and you've seen with like Kareem Hunt, guys that have left. He has not been opposed for them coming back. So I can't say good call or talking balls because I've seen it happen before, and they love going back to guys that they know what to expect out of them, how hard they work. And two, I mean, I just think that it's not out of the realm of possibility. I think that it would, a lot of things would have to happen for that. And this looks like the first domino. I think for now, looking at it, because I know their receiving room, I would say that at this point, it's talking balls.
Talking balls. The next one. The Chiefs will miss the playoffs.
I didn't want to really answer it so fast this time. They're absolutely going to make the playoffs. They have not only loaded up their roster with depth, they have the Chiefs are never. I mean, I was released with the Chiefs after the Super Bowl. After 15 years there, they're very akin to win and win not to release somebody. They know their productive years, and I think they've also built their roster with depth where they can just pluck a guy that's in that 4th or 5th receiver spot, and he's got enough reps in the preseason and during training camp and OTAs where they have guys ready. Where you will see a move is if they feel like that they're not ready, and they're not afraid to do that either. But Brett Veach, Andy Reid, those guys are very solid. And they've had, I looking around the league, that they've got to have that coaching staff they have there. They have to have the most tenured coaching staff. And so they're not surprised easily, and they're always prepared.
Well, they're not overly short on wide receivers, are they, really? Like, they've got Hollywood Brown, who balled out as well there at the weekend, and Sky Moore and Juju Smith.
Yeah, I mean, and Juju, you saw, he's another guy that left and came back. I mean, they're not afraid to bring guys back. I just think that they're well suited, especially within the last 2 or 3 years where they've had guys go down and they've plugged somebody in that they know what they're doing. They're going to do the right thing business wise, and usually that's from within first. And if that fails, they'll go out and shop.
So Talkin Balls, then.
Talkin Balls, they're making.
Cut you off there.
Oh, you're good. They're making the playoffs, baby, for sure.
Next one. Travis Kelce retires after this season.
Man. I know he promised one more year. He's usually faithful always on his word. I would say that's a good call. I'm not in that room. I see him 2-3 times a year. But I would not be surprised if that is the case. I think that he is, if I'm Travis Kelce making movies, if I'm in Happy Gilmore and starting to do stuff like that, and I'm wanting to watch,
he's got a lot of shit going on in the background.
Yeah, my future wife is doing concerts all over the world. I'd want to kind of be there for her and experience, really enjoy that experience. I think that's probably a good call.
Yeah.
By the way, just in case you're wondering who that ball fella is, he's it's his anniversary. He couldn't make it. He wasn't allowed. His missus wouldn't let him on.
Oh man,
he's one
that's
of the other
rough.
hosts. Just in case you're wondering, here there's three guys. Who's that third guy?
He missed the best podcast.
I know. Tell me about it. That's what Rob was saying just before. How freaking Mark's missing this. Like, it's like his missus literally wouldn't give him the time off.
I would love for him to play one more season and let Kansas City experience them being married and having kids and doing all that stuff. There's a lady in Kansas City, Zona Rosa. When you fly into the airport, she's got a really cute shop called the Pink Dinosaur, and she does all Chiefs and Swifty stuff. And it's like a big shop. It's called the Pink Dinosaur.
Johnson in a video for that?
That's it. Ellie Steadman. She's the greatest human ever. Does a lot of charity, and makes a lot of the Chiefs' wives cool shirts and stuff. And I mean, she's a big Swiftie, and obviously Travis loves her. So I mean, selfishly, I'd love to one or two more seasons with that.
Next one, Hollywood Brown, with all the injuries, suspensions, Hollywood Brown becomes 1,000-yard wide receiver this year.
That's very possible with any of the receivers that they have there or tight ends. I say that because when I was there in June for their OTAs, I was Pat. Everybody knows Pat can make every throw on the field, but his timing is impeccable. And when he develops relationships, and I told you about his work ethic, those guys are in the off season even going to high schools. If they can't get in the building, they're going to high schools and working. And you just don't see guys. You see little clumps of that, but not just guys on the team. He's very much like Tom Brady was, where he was like, we're not letting anybody else in. We're putting the work in now. And, Pat has taken that to a whole nother level. So I think that's a good call.
Last one. Dustin Colquitt is the Chiefs' GOAT of all punters.
Yes. Although we've had some really good punters there. I never looked at it like that. I have to say that because I don't want to like rain on my parade like I'm in Ireland right now. I would say that like I got a very unique experience where I had Steve Hoffman come in my rookie year and show me some stuff that if he hadn't, I don't think I would have played as long. He's like a special teams, like really punting, kicking guru. Obviously, it doesn't hurt to have a 2-time world champion Steeler punter as your father. He taught me a lot of stuff. Somebody that I learned from, Melvin Dunn, who just passed within the last year. Melvin was a Mars Hill like D3 punter. This black dude that became like a second father to me, especially in the punting game. He taught me everything. He's very explosive. And as a soccer player, my dad was like, "You're not going to listen to me. Melvin is going to kick your ass." Gerald Wilson was Thunderfoot in Kansas City for 15 seasons before they were playing 16 game seasons. So he actually played 15 seasons for the Chiefs as well. He passed in April right before I got to Kansas City, but the entire time that I was in Kansas City, like 2005, 2006, 2007, everybody compared me with Gerald and was like, he's better than you. He's always going to be better than you. And so I sat there and looked at his name on the Ring of Honor, and it was a goal to play as long or longer. I don't know if I'm the greatest. I'm going to let you say that. The GOAT, Tommy Townsend was there, who's now playing for the Texans. Man, he could bomb the ball. I could do that in my younger years, but man, he could really just thump a football. But I mean, I have to say good call. I have to.
100% you do. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Like,
If I had a Guinness, I would just go. I would say good call.
Yeah, 100%. Good call. We're all saying it. There we go. That was good. That was us. What I want to ask is, see, whenever, like, because I know now that I'm older, that my knees don't work as a punter. Because, like, as an O-lineman, really, you just need to stand there and hold the guy at some stage. Really, like, you could probably, your knees could maybe work a wee bit. As a punter, how sore is it when you get older?
Yeah, as you get older, you have to, like, when you start losing elasticity, that's when it's tough. And so, like, I was constantly doing stuff that my friends would make fun of me for, like hot yoga. I wouldn't drink and stuff during the season unless there was a tacky Christmas sweater party and I had to. Or like after a win on a plane, I would sneak beers in a pillowcase up to like coaches and stuff just so they'd keep me on the roster longer.
Yeah.
But like the big thing about, so I had what got me out of soccer a little bit and kind of like when that door opened in football is I had 6 titanium screws put in the weight bearing side of my femur, my high school, my sophomore year. And they told me I wasn't going to be able to play basketball. I couldn't play indoor soccer. And so I was actually kind of looking for something else that didn't require as much running. But in the NFL, you got big guys like we've been talking about, 6'3", 240-pound guys that are like bulldozing guys over to try to block your punt. And so my big thing was timing. But when those guys come through, nothing stops them. So I've had microfracture, I've had groin release, sports hernia surgeries, shoulder surgeries from chasing people down because of good angles. And man, when you hit, they're so big, it just blows your shoulder up. So it's harder on the plant leg, your posting leg when you're punting, because you're going down on the ground hard, you're exploding and trying to hit a ball, and then you're coming back down. So I was constantly doing cryotherapy or cold baths or preventative, medicines like hyaluronic acid shots, like in joint spaces. Damn. To keep that joint space, healthy and good joint space. And, just any exosomes. I mean, you saw Kirk Cousins, flying down to Antigua, to do some of these new therapies just to give himself more shelf life.
Yeah.
in a very demanding schedule and a very demanding league where you have, people that are coming after you every week.
Yeah. And what's your thought process from a younger punter seeing a man running at you with the ball than an older punter?
Yeah, you better be working on that during the week. I got, we do that at University of Tennessee. We do that in Kansas City. Every week we're working on those, got those rolling donut pads that you like roll across. You work on getting low and coming from low to high and,
Yep.
bringing the bows, bringing your hips. The good thing that we have is that those return guys are normally in that, 5'9" to 5'10" range, 180 pounds. And so when you face a 6'3", 230-pound punter, at least you have some size, but they're running fast. So they feel like they're 300 pounds when they hit you.
Yeah.
But that's something that I tried to pride myself on, and Pat McAfee was great at. We got a lot of punters that, the one that I think of that unfortunately Tig didn't get to meet was Daniel Sepulveda. I believe he was out of Rice, played for the Steelers, left-footed punter. And man, he would like cattle rope guys. He would hit guys so hard, cattle rope them and throw them down. The punters are bigger than you think, and some of them are very good tacklers. So you just gotta you have to literally train for that, because those guys are paid tacklers and punters are paid punters and kickers. And so you got to get used to, if something comes through, you got to be ready for it at all cost.
Yeah, it's just getting everybody, like the likes of Ty and stuff, getting what you're saying, like tackling and everything. Like people go into them things might not even know. I have to tackle somebody. I thought I could just have to kick.
Oh yeah. Oh, you can tell the guys that have worked on it and not. That's for sure. You get 1 foot out of the ground and try to tackle somebody, they're going to spin you around like a dreidel.
No, you're right. I know.
I've been
Yeah,
there.
Dustin, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. The stories have just been such good crack. It's been awesome. Thank you very much for coming on, and I can't wait to see you whenever you're over here in Ireland, in London.
It's going to be a blast. I got a pretty busy itinerary, but it doesn't go late, so I'm looking forward to getting a pint with you guys.
Awesome.
We'll try to get Tig, drag him out of his house too.
Happy days.
Yeah, we'll send his wife on a spa trip, and we'll get some guy time.
Just right.
Love that.
Thank you very much. You're an absolute star. Thank you.
Appreciate it. You guys too, man. Loving watching your work.
Thank you
you,
for coming
buddy.
on. Cheers.
Absolutely. Cheers. See you soon.